Okay, so a little update video here. Here's the 125 in the bedroom that I'm getting ready for some umbies that are coming in, and I went and got some gravel at this gravel yard near here, and it's kind of dark, and I don't know if you can see the color or not, but there's a lot of like black and purple and red in there, and I got some rocks from the yard, and put my big plant back in there. Just some rocks, and I got a pot from Home Depot, and I just took a Sawzall and cut like a quarter of it off, so I make a little cave for them to hide. It's like a PVC pot, so I think it should be alright. So anyways, I don't know if I like it or not. It always takes me a while to decide, but so lay back in bed here. That's what we're looking at when we're laying in bed. You know, I didn't change a whole bunch of the water. I took all the crushed coral out, and I vacuumed up all the funk, and then, you know, which took out about 30% of the water, then filled it back up. I waited a day, cleaned the bottom again, and then put the gravel back in. And so the tank should be fine. I think once it settles down, it shouldn't have to cycle. That filter's probably filthy, but it's full of bacteria, so I think it's fine, you know. But you know, if you guys are following my channel, watching my stuff, I'm really doing this to try and get some constructive ideas, and you know, I'm just kind of winging it, trying to figure it out on my own. So any advice from you guys would be much appreciated. And while we're looking at this, I'm doing a water change. Sorry about the run around with the camera here, but doing a water change in the living room with the peacock bass, right? So I always run it down where the filters just don't stop. You know, they won't stop, so I'll stop sucking water pretty soon. But so that's about probably 25%, and I do it once a week, 25 to 30, and then like every 2 months I'll do like a 60% just to keep the nitrates down. I'm measuring my nitrates, and they're all, you know, if I'm on the standard that drip kit where you have the vials and you put the drips in there, and as long as it's not screaming red, I think I'm good, you know. So it's around 40 or 80. I try and keep it under. So I just dragged the garden hose in from the front yard, and I turn the hose on and fill the tank all the way up, like maybe 3 inches is evaporated between water changes. So the hose runs out, so I fill the tank up, then I shut the water off and unplug the hose, and it just siphons back out. And what I'll do is suck up the poop, kind of, you know, and then let it drain down to right before my filters stop running. Which this time I actually clean this filter. I'll clean one filter at a time, you know, so I'll clean this filter, this water change, and that one, the next water change, and maybe skip a few if I don't need it. So anyways, there it is, sucking water, spilling water on the carpet. And what I fill it back up with is I have RODI machine, a coral RODI machine in the garage. So this is all 100% RO water, right? And what I do is, you know, the water's probably 50 degrees. So what I do is I run some of it, and then I'll dump like 5 or 10 gallons of smoking hot water in there from the tap, along with a little bit of Chem Prime in there just to kill any chlorine, which I test the water here, there's no chlorine in it. And I got like a 300 gallon an hour pump down in there that pumps the water into the tank and fills it back up. And it's been going good. The water here where I live in Southern California is extremely hard and slightly high pH, right? So I run it through the RODI, and it comes out super soft. There's nothing in it. It takes out every bit of calcium and magnesium, and it brings the pH down to like 6.4. The alkalinity of the water is almost non-existent too. So I figure adding 25% of that heavy-duty tap water adds some alkalinity, brings the pH up to about neutral. And actually in this tank, I put a little bit of crushed coral in with the sand to try and keep the pH stable, the alkalinity up, because he's so dirty, you know. I was having problems with the pH getting too low, and then it killing off the bacteria and the ammonia coming up. So I put the crushed coral in there. The water tests I had showed there was no alkalinity, you know, so no stability in the pH. So I put the crushed coral in there because the crushed coral I had in my bedroom made the alkalinity extremely high, and in relation made the pH high. But yeah, I don't know if any of this is making sense, but again, I'm just throwing it out there so you guys can kind of, if you see anywhere I'm like totally wrong, please point it out so I can, you know, improve what I'm doing here. It's all been kind of a guessing game all along, and bits and pieces from YouTube and other websites, but yeah, that's where it's at for now. And the tank in the garage is doing really good. Everybody's alive and well, and this guy's doing real good today. He's always kind of feisty. He don't even mind the water changes, you know. He just wants to eat, you know. And he's cool. When I stick my hand in there, he doesn't try and bite me. He might try and bite the hose and stuff some, but yeah. Anyways, try and get a side shot of him. He's never even named this fish, you know. I don't know. I'm not much of a fish namer, I guess. Anyways, yeah. So there's my video. That probably made no sense at all, but I'm gonna put it on there anyway.